I've been playing on the same Minecraft world for just about 5 years now, slowly building upon my ever-expanding village. Many people often play Minecraft making new worlds each time they decide to play, but I find there's far more satisfaction in seeing one long-term world grow to be greater and greater with each play session. I've made multiple videos covering how I've been able to avoid burnout on playing the same world continuously, and with each of those I always get countless comments asking for a more in-depth tour of my Minecraft Forever world. So today, I'm finally gonna deliver. But before I do so, make sure to tap that like button and subscribe if you enjoy what you see. And with that, let me give you a little history on this world. I created this world back in 2020 when I finally scrapped enough money together to buy my very first gaming PC. And one of the first things I wanted to do was try playing Minecraft with shaders on. So I created this survival world and even turned it into a mini Let's Play series. Although after about 5 episodes, I dropped the series and just continued to play on the world on my own time. Now, I want to clarify that unlike many of the other Forever World tours out there on YouTube, I'm not a full-time content creator, nor is Minecraft the only game I play. I actually have had many periods where I would go weeks or even months without playing. Although when I did make my return, it would always be to this same survival world. Why am I mentioning this? Well, honestly, I believe and hope that this will make my world a little more relatable to the viewer and average player, as not a disservice to other Minecraft content creators, but this isn't my priority. Rather, it's a side hobby, so I don't have endless time to expand and create mega bases every week. I'm not the best builder either. While I would definitely say I'm not bad, my world is also more likely to have things you could create yourself a bit easier. But as I go throughout my world, I'll point out where I started and how my builds have evolved over time. And with that, let me show you where I first started, my house. So here we are in my Minecraft Forever world. I'm gonna be starting towards the first few things I ever built, showing you how over time I have evolved in my building techniques and in skill. And while sure, I'm still not one of those hermitcraft players, I do have to do stuff outside of play Minecraft, unfortunately. I wish this could be a full-time job for me. But I think it's going to be really cool to see how I started and then how it's kind of grown. Because you will see how the buildings get definitely more complicated as time goes on. Let's get the tour started right where I began, which is my first ever house, which is what you're seeing right behind me. If you go back to that old little Let's Play series that I did about 5 episodes in, you'll actually see this is in the first episode. And while it doesn't look exactly the same, it is pretty similar. Literally the only thing that has changed is I think I've put some pumpkins and leaves out here, and these used to be wooden. But this was the first thing I built, and as you can see, it is incredibly simple. There's not much going on inside, but it does its job of being that first night house. So basically, once this was built, everything from there was expanding upon this base. This is the center point of my world, basically. So if we continue to some of my other early builds, I could go in all the different directions, but I don't really know exactly where to go as there's just so much to cover. So I think I'm gonna start by going over this way, and then we'll go around and make our way over to the newer districts. So walking over here, one of the first things you'll see actually is my task board. So this is basically where I put all of the different things and ideas I have of things I want to complete in my world. I have had things on here for quite a long time, but these are where I keep all my to-do lists. And also I have a lot of different books of things I want to do. Like I have a zoo, which I'll show you later, and the zoo checklist has all the different animals I want to have present in the zoo. As you can see here, this is my district checklist. So this has all the different districts I have to complete, and each page shows all the different things I want to do in each district. But moving on from that, over here is one of the second houses I ever built. This is yet again another just small, simple house. And if you're wondering what's going on with my villagers and why they look different than normal, I have the fresh animations pack on, and I also have a texture pack for the beds to make them unique based on their wool color. Also, I know this looks a little funky, but I just used the happy gas to move a bunch of villagers into my villages to fill them up and make them feel a little more alive. So I have been randomly placing beds in a bunch of buildings in spots where they don't really necessarily fit until I have the time to build residence halls. This is where I keep my jukebox and all my music discs. I still haven't collected all of them. I really want to get the new Lava Chicken music disc, but I'll get around to it eventually. Coming over here, I have a little hub gazebo area. Like I said, this is another very simple build. I got a little fountain here, building style, where they're very blocky still and use a lot of wood and cobblestone, which not to say is a bad thing, but you'll definitely see how things evolve. This was my first barn. This is where I keep my animals. I have a few cows here and a few sheep, and then my horses. Yet again, another very simple build, but it gets the job done. And honestly, when I first built these things, I thought they looked really, really good. And I still don't think they look bad, but you'll see as time goes on how this is gonna be not as cool in comparison to the other one. But I like keeping them in my world because it's cool to compare my newer stuff to my older stuff. And then up here, I have a little fountain and a well, or not a fountain. I have a little well and a waterfall. These aren't super old, actually. I really like these. This is my nether portal. This is another very, very simple build. It's like the same style as these houses, which you will see in a lot of my builds. It's literally just a normal tiny house, except for it's using nether blocks instead of blocks from the overworld. I still do like this, but if I was to build a nether portal now, you'd see how much more advanced it would be. And I do actually have another nether portal over there that I just built for fun, and you'll see that the techniques used are far more advanced. Also, if you're wondering why I have these here, this is to keep villagers from walking through and getting into the nether. Now, if I go up here, I have a little path up to one of my favorite builds in my world, actually. It's not that even complicated or complex, but it's this little tower. This tower gives me a really good overview of my world. If I use a firework real quick to get up inside, sometimes I'll come up here and get an overview of my world, and I just think it's really cool to look at. It's a nice high vantage point. If I come back down, this is my enchantment building here, and like I said, and will say probably a million more times, you can see how this is just another very simplistic house build. It's like that house there, and that house over there. It's just a normal house, but the interior is a little different. So this is my enchanting room. It's not super complicated, there's not a lot going on, but it does get the job done. And when I say all these things, by the way, don't take it as I'm dissing my builds or I don't like them, but this is really how I'm gonna show how things change over time and how I've improved. And also, these builds by no means are bad. If this is the style of building you're using, this is what Minecraft was originally intended for building to be like. What makes a build good is up to you. But with that and going back outside and going back down the path, let's go over this way a little bit. So this right here is a little restaurant I made, and this was another one where I was just bored and I just collected a bunch of blocks and just built something tall. So I call it the 6-Star Cafe. I honestly have no clue actually why it's called this. I don't remember what the inspiration was for that name. I don't know if it's because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories, so maybe that's why. It's very simple. There's not much going on. If I go up, there's just a bunch of tables and stuff and a little water elevator here. But you can see the floorboard is a checkered pattern of netherrack and crafting tables, which this is something you don't see that much anymore either. It's a checker style floor with the most random blocks possible. This is something that just really reminds me of those early 2000 Minecraft builds where you were using the blocks that you had provided. You didn't have as many blocks as we have now to create these really cool, detailed, and intricate builds. This was the first build I actually used a tutorial for, and it's my storage room. People always hate on using tutorials as they say it's not original and it's not your build, which is in some senses true, but really this is my world and I can do what I want with it. And when I use tutorials, it often shows me new building techniques that I can then further apply and learn and use in builds of my own. I would link this tutorial in the description, but I really don't remember what it's called because I did make this probably about 4 to 5 years ago, and it's definitely one of my favorite points of interest in my world. It's one of the ones I visit the most frequently as well. As you can see, I have all my different storage containers in here, and I still actually haven't even assigned all these chests with different things yet, but I will eventually. And if I come up here, there's not really much going on, but yet again, just kind of cool. And oh, it's actually night now, so I am gonna go to sleep real quick and then I'll come back. But before I do so, really quickly, I'll point out I have this mini castle here. I'm not gonna go too in depth on that because it's honestly a build that I might get rid of soon. I'm not very fond of it, and you can see in the distance there's a bigger castle which I will get to later. But very simple. I don't really like this build actually, and I still haven't filled the interior, so I might break it down and use this space for something else. Before I decide to go to sleep, I want to show you this little train station I have over here real quick. This was another build that I just made out of boredom, and honestly, while it's supposed to be a train station, it doesn't actually have any trains or minecart tracks. Something I did want to do was make minecart tracks from this point to a bunch of different other areas in my world. Will that happen? I'm not really sure. I think it's pretty cool. It's another simple one, uses a different block set than what I'm used to, but I did enjoy building this, even if it is pretty simple. I just think it's kind of cool. Got a little seating area over here, and this is where the minecart tracks are supposed to be. All right, I just went to sleep, and now it's time to show you some of what I think are more of the second stage builds of my world. So these were kind of after the initial start, and when I started to finally advance a little bit. This isn't the final stage of my advancements, and nor am I currently at the final stage of my building strategies, as I'm always going to try and get a little bit better with each build, but this is where you can see things start to pick up a little. Actually, on a counter note, I forgot to show you another few of the early builds, but they're on the way there. So this is just a little dock I made. This was actually something I think I made in the first episode of that old Let's Play series, and I have a little boat on the river there, which I think is just kind of nice. Coming over here, I have a little shack for all my dogs. I do plan on eventually making a full-blown building for these dogs, but this is just where I'm keeping them right now. Coming over here, this was my first little mining hut, so if you come down, you can see I have just a little bit of storage. And I don't know if there's anything actually in there, so I guess I have a junk thing, some ores. And yet again, if you're wondering what these are just to keep the villagers out. These I actually just added because I don't want villagers getting lost. Yeah, you can see I do a lot of mining down here. So coming back up, I have two other very basic houses. These were some other early builds, but these take on a little bit of a different style. This is a very early Minecraft styled hobbit house almost. I don't know if any of you have seen The Lord of the Rings, but it's kind of like that. Coming in here, I just have a few villagers working in here. Nothing crazy. And I have another one over here. And I have a little copper statue up there. This, I think, was somewhere I made in the middle. By the way, all these districts aren't like this district was the first thing I made, then I made that one, then I made that one. Like, a lot of them I work on at the same time, or I'll make new things in later on. So this was something I made probably about a few years ago, but a few years after I originally made the world too. And here is just another little building. Making my way back over here, I just have a sugarcane farm, nothing too crazy, and then I have a wheat, potato, and carrot farm. Making my way around again, I have this little shack here. This is actually how I reach my underground city, which is called Copper Caverns. This was something I built mid-stage of the world, and I really like this build, so let me show you real quick. I have a water elevator down that for some reason doesn't work at the top, but I'm too lazy to fix that. All right, coming off the elevator, here is my Copper Caverns. This is a little village I made underground that I definitely want to expand upon and improve in the future. I didn't have all the new lush cave features here, so I brought them back here, and it's just a little simple build I made with some different houses. I have a little axolotl pond down there, which I really like. I still got to get that really rare axolotl eventually. And yeah, just some underground houses. Yet again, this is another simplistic build, but just really cool. I just like having this underground area that I can go to every once in a while. And there's just some interiors to the houses as well. Okay, now I'm about to enter a section where things start to pick up a little bit. And this is what I call my Spruce district. So one thing I will say before I get into anything else is my world is kind of laid out like New York City, or at least I want it to be in a way where I don't separate my builds and make them super far apart from each other all the time. Sometimes I do, not always, but I have a lot of very different styled and different aesthetic and atmosphered areas all very close together. So it kind of feels like having a little Italy or a Chinatown all in like New York City in this Minecraft world. So this is my Spruce district. So I have this little gateway here, and if I come over here, this is my barn. This was also a tutorial, and I made this early on. This was the first build I made in the Spruce district, and I also have this wheat field over here, and that little dock, that was another early build. But this is my barn. I just have a few animals in here right now. I think I have a camel right there. And then if I come over here, I have a bunch of black sheep because I've been using a lot of black wool. but I do really like this build. Definitely one of my favorites. And then I have some chickens, I have a sniffer, and then I think on this side I have some cows. Yeah, right there. Coming over here, I have 2 other little random houses. So these are completely my own builds, and while they aren't as good as this one, this is what I'm saying by learning from some tutorials. These taught me new building techniques that I was able to apply on my own from learning from things like tutorials. So this is just another little random shack, and I think I have some beds in here for villagers, even though I don't think any villagers live here right now. And then this is another little random shack over here. I'm not actually even sure what the purpose of this is, I just thought it was kind of cool. Now, I will disclaimer before going into this area, this entire section of my world is completely made of tutorials. This area was made to be by far the most technically advanced area of my world and is one of the newer areas, but I made it like that because I didn't want to have builds that feel a little more simplistic next to incredibly complex builds. Well, none of these are actually that crazy, they're very detailed, and I wanted to use this as kind of a learning section, but it did turn out really nice, and I do really like this section of my world. So making my way up, I have this little walkway and this little garden here, and then I have the first big build of this section, which is my church. I really like this church. I think it looks really, really nice. I don't remember any of the tutorials I used for these, but I'm sure if you look it up, you could find it. But I think it looks really, really good. And yeah, I've just got a little altar here, a bunch of different tables, or a bunch of different little seating rows. Just a really great build. And then behind it, I don't think I have anything back here. I was thinking about maybe adding a graveyard eventually, but we'll see. And also, I like having grass and stuff everywhere. A lot of people just flatten out their world, but I kind of like having all this. I do eventually want to do some custom terraforming and custom terrain and trees in between my build sections. That is something I'm going to get around to soon. This is a little potion shop. This is the brewery. This is also another just really, really cool build. I really like this one. I also forgot to show this little fountain here from the garden. Another nice little touch. I have another beacon over here. I do eventually want to get beacons in every little district of my world. And this is supposed to be a rock with a sword in it. Making my way over here, I have this giant smelting room, which I am a big fan of. It's just filled with a bunch of furnaces, but I think it's really cool. Then I have this fountain with a statue, and this was originally actually a bakery, which is what this section over here is. But when I moved all the villagers over here with the happy gas, I decided to make this a residence hall. So I put a bunch of beds in here for the villagers to use. And actually, if you come up here, there's so many villagers. Well, you can't see it right now. I don't want the... Oh, dude. No, come down. Okay. There is so many villagers. There's an iron golem here. All right, I was able to get them back down. This is another very simple area, and this was an expansion I made recently. Not much going on here, but it's just a ton more beds for all these villagers. I do really like that the happy gas has allowed me to bring villagers into all the other areas of my world, because it just makes it feel a little more lived in rather than having all these empty buildings. Let's come over to the last build of this world. I gotta eat real quick. This is just a little mushroom house. This isn't really as on theme with the whole Spruce district aspect of the rest of this, but I just thought it was kind of cool. So I have a little mushroom house here, and there is a cleric working in here. And then I just have another wheat field around here, and I also have a big, basically hedge fence to make sure none of the villagers run away. My jungle district is supposed to serve as almost a tiki oasis, and I have this big fence of jungle bush going around and this lazy river, and like I said, this is all a work in progress. But I have this lazy river here. As you can see, I have all my shulker boxes here of all the different things I'm using while building. And I have these tiki stone heads, and this is the tiki bar I made with a little bridge going over. And yeah, it's just a little tiki bar. Very, very nice. I've really enjoyed spending time here in between building. It's just kind of cool. I really like just walking around my world sometimes, not even doing anything, but just to appreciate and take in the scenery. Then I've been building some mossy rocks all around the place alongside the stone heads, and I still have to put something in this little middle area as well. I'm thinking about doing a bunch of bonfire pits, but I'm not sure yet. And like I said, you can see here, this area doesn't have a lot of plant life or rocks yet. That's because it's not done. I have this little waterfall I just made and a little more stone heads. And then if you go back up and you look upwards, I have to build a staircase or a way to get up, but this is where people actually live. This is where the jungle villagers are. So if I fly up, this actually took so long just because I actually built this right before the happy gas were introduced, which is kind of frustrating because the happy gas would have made this so much easier to reach these weird spots. But this is my jungle village with a bunch of different houses and farms. This here is a simple farm, and I have paths going from tree to tree. And in each tree, there's either a little platform like this, or there is a house inhabited by villagers, and not any villagers, jungle villagers too. This is not a texture pack. I actually went over there and I breeded a bunch of villagers, and I was able to get the jungle variants, which is really cool for this world. This is by far one of my favorite builds, and I just have a bunch of different houses like this. So if you look around, you can just see all the different houses and the farms, and it's just, I really love this world, and I really love this part of it. And I like getting to look up from above down at this whole section. It's really cool. And then even just looking out at the rest of the world, this has by far been one of my hardest projects, simply due to how hard it is to build these platforms with all the slabs, as a lot of the time it requires you to break slabs and then place more slabs. It's kind of hard to explain, but it could be very frustrating, but it turned out really well in my opinion. And yeah, this is just the newest build I've made. It's still a work in progress, but it's definitely one of my favorites. I'm gonna make my way back to the center of the world real quick to go show you another early world or mid-world district that I call Blocky Boulevard. By the way, I forgot to mention, I do actually have names for all the districts because I just think it's kind of cool and adds a bit of lore to my world. Another thing with that is also, if you've noticed, I named all of my tools to add a little bit of lore, just because I do think it's kind of cool. So this is a little bridge going across the river in the center of my world. You can see that little tower a little bit better from here, and you can look out. You can see the jungle village in the distance, the little copper statue. Where I'm about to go is basically the second area of my world that I built. These are yet again very simplistic builds. So here I just have two little houses. One has a little dock going on, and I think that one still needs an interior, but I'll probably move some villagers into here and make these some actual shops later on. Here I have one of the most bare bones little aquariums possible with a bunch of tropical fish. This right here is my museum. This is a giant sandstone building, and this is where I keep just a bunch of what I find to be cool and rare and unique artifacts. And this is also a work in progress. This is going to be a work in progress honestly forever with each update, because I have a bunch of signs here of stuff I need to collect. Like, I want to collect all the different pottery shards, all the goat horn variants, as they all have different sounds, all the different frog lights. Like right now I have the green one, but there's also two others. I forgot what they were called. This is a full set of chainmail armor, just different unique rare artifacts like I have over here. These are just a bunch of different unique cool little rare items you can find throughout your world. And then I also have a giant map of my world. I plan on expanding this eventually, or actually not even expanding it, just making a whole new one and a whole building dedicated to it. This is the one in the museum. This is also just really cool to see the world grow over time. I really like looking at this. Then if I go upstairs, here I have a little cave section. Then I have the end section, so I have the dragon head, the dragon egg, and then in the middle, these are all the mob heads that I've collected. I've got two zombie heads, creeper head, a skeleton head, a piglin head, and a wither skeleton head. I plan on adding more to this as time goes on. This is something that I don't think will ever really end or finish, because there's always going to be more for me to collect. As collecting is also something I want to mention for lasting in a long-term Minecraft world. People who really enjoy the survival aspect of Minecraft is a ton of fun and really makes you go out and explore your world to find these different artifacts and these different pieces, as a lot of them are only found exclusively in different districts or different biomes. So collecting is definitely something I'd recommend for people who want to enjoy Minecraft long-term more. Now, if I come up here, this was actually the second house I built for myself. Here you go. You can see it's just another simple little house. I actually don't really come to this house much anymore. Usually I either sleep in the first one I built or that new big one I showed you over there. But I got my little cat over here, and I used to really like having these little water elevators to get up. So this is actually my sleeping area, but I have a little area up top here. If you look out over here, I don't think I'm really going to go into this area much, but this is my industrial district. So if you're wondering what this is, this whole area in between these walls, that is where I keep all my farms and all my redstone contraptions. So if I get my spyglass out, you can see I have a small sugarcane farm, an iron farm that works sometimes. I feel like it hasn't been working lately, which I'm not sure why. And then I have a honey farm. I plan on making a gunpowder farm like right here. I still haven't gotten around to it, but it is in the works. And that right there is my first ever XP farm. Now I actually use an Enderman farm in the end, which I'm not going to show you because you've probably seen the Enderman farm before and there's really nothing going on there besides that. But let me sleep real quick. So I was actually going to show you another simpler and second stage of my world build next, but you know what? We're more near a newer build, so I'm going to show you that instead first. And that is my Japanese district. Running over a lot of this land has been undeveloped in between, and this is the type of area that I want to terraform eventually to make something very, very different than the regular terrain generation you usually see, and make my own custom trees and stuff, because I just think that would be really cool. But this is the Japanese district, and you can see again I have these little fences here with the Japanese bushes and the slabs on top because I want to move villagers in here eventually. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, and I haven't filled in the interior of a lot of these buildings. But I have this little entrance sign. See, it says the Cherry District. Really, it's the Japanese district. So maybe I gotta change the name. This is another one of my favorite areas of my world, and these I actually didn't use any tutorials on at all. So this is what I'm talking about by using tutorials to pick up on new techniques and kind of get a little bit better, because you gotta learn from somewhere, right? So these builds I find to be a little more advanced than a lot of my early stages with the different roofing techniques and stuff like that, because this is something that I wouldn't have been able to build when building things like my first house or that first area of my world. Well, yes, of course, they're not anything like these Hermitcraft builds. They're definitely more than what I was able to do in the past, and that's really what matters to me. I still have to fill them all in with interiors, of course, and I got to fill in this land in between with different plants. But I got a little pond going on here as well. I think there's a pufferfish right there too. This is just another district of my world that's a work in progress that I generally really like. It's probably my favorite, actually, maybe tied with the jungle area. I think I just have recency bias because I've been working on the jungle area a little bit more, but I really, really like this area. Over here, I probably plan on doing some form of like karate dojo or like karate courtyard, or maybe just a full-blown Japanese garden. I'm not really sure yet, but I gotta fill in all of this space, and yeah, we'll see how this grows as time goes on. I've got a lot of space to fill in. I gotta fill in the interiors, and I got to move a bunch of villagers in. With that, we're gonna make our way over to another mid-tier area of my world, and this is Blocky Boulevard. These are a bunch more simplistic builds, and there are a bunch of little shops. See, I have a little cafe here that I called Crafty Cafe. Not much going on in there, but nice little touch. And like I said, this whole area I want to move villagers into eventually. Then I got a little farm shop and a little library here. I actually really like this library. It just feels very cozy to me. That's one of the things I like about the old Minecraft building style that wasn't too complicated and forced you to use the blocks that you had. Is a lot of them just ended up feeling very cozy, and maybe part of this build style to me is just nostalgia. That's not to say I still don't enjoy it. This is, I actually don't know what this is. I think I wanted to make this a pottery shop. Yeah, I did. I still haven't done anything with that yet, but I will eventually. Then I have a flower and plant store. I really like the interior of this one, actually. I really like the different spore effects that blocks like this have. Just adds a little more atmosphere to it. Then I have a blacksmith. I tried recreating the old blacksmith buildings you'd see in the old villages before the village update. And this is a caving store. These are things that I just see that the more average player is able to do, and also just ways that you can spend your time. Like I don't have unlimited time to do this stuff. This is kind of what it looks like for somebody who's been playing on the same world but doesn't play constantly. Then I have just this little frog statue over there. I think there's a bed in there, but there's not really much going on inside. And then this is my frog terrarium. I really like this one. This one was also a tutorial, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, really, really cool. And as you can see, I actually do have all 3 frog variants. I gotta use these guys to get the other frog lights, but it's a bit of a complicated process. But with the happy gas, being able to transport them to the right area of the nether will be a lot easier. I gotta say, the happy gas is one of the best updates we've had in a long time, even if it's pretty small. On a quick note, this actually used to be a cherry blossom area as well. Not like actually I made it myself, but I demolished it because I have that Japanese district over there, and I just didn't really like how it was turning out. So I just want to show another example of you can always get rid of things in your world if you just don't like them, and start fresh and use that area for something else. And it's right next to the water, so I'm thinking of making like a pirate themed bay area over here eventually. This was the nether portal I was talking about before. This is a little more advanced than the one I have over there. But yeah, it's just a little bit more of a complicated nether portal. And I think that about actually wraps up the main area of my world. The rest of the things I'm going to show you are some more simple areas and more simple builds that are either work in progress or just far away from the rest of everything. All right, I'm gonna fly over and show you a couple of the things I haven't yet, like that little dock area right there. I'm not gonna go down there. Then over here, this is actually my zoo. This I haven't filled up at all yet. This is a major work in progress. Like, there's not even any animals in here. But as you can see here, I have the 2 name tag sheep. And then over here, I have the sniffer, the camel, and I built little environments for them as well, just because I think it looks kind of cool. Then I also have some pandas. So yeah, I would like to fill this up eventually. I'm not going to get every single mob. I really just want to get the mobs that are a bit more unique and rare to find. And also a lot of the newer ones, because the newer ones just have way more personality to them, because they just have more unique animations. Although I am using the fresh animations texture pack, so I guess I don't really have to worry about it anymore. But I just started using that. I'm going to make my way over to the actual village I found near my house. This was another early stage build in my world. I built a giant wall around the village to protect all the villagers, and I call this the Oak Heart village. And yeah, there's not much going on. I just built a little trading hall here, and this is where a lot of my villagers are. I don't even have all of them filled up. I probably got to breed them eventually, but I honestly haven't come here for villager trades in a while, just because I really have max gear and I haven't lost it yet. I like stuff like this. This is another tip I use for a long-term world. Having your builds have purpose. For example, building this wall here is to protect the villagers. While it still looks cool, in my opinion, adds to the overall village's aesthetic, there is an incentive towards building it, and that is to protect the villagers, even if I have none of them roaming free. But you get the point. All right, now that I slept, I'm quickly going to show you one of the biggest, if not the biggest build in this entire world, and it is this giant castle tower. I don't even know what inspired me to build this one day, but I just wanted to. And it is generally one of my favorites. It's just massive. Like, the scale is huge, and this took me so long to make and collect all the blocks for. And one of my goals in this world, although I don't know if I'm ever actually going to do this because it would take genuinely like years, is to build a giant wall the same height as this first layer, going all around everything. But like I said, that would take possibly years, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But it's huge. It's huge. And on the inside, I don't have much going on yet, but I do have this giant diamond throne. So this is what I like to consider the throne of the world. This is where I come, because I am the owner of the world, and therefore I am the ruler of the world, and this is where the king sits. So this is where I sit. Now I also have ladders going all the way to the top, but I'm gonna fly up real quick because that would just take a couple minutes that I don't feel like spending. This is the top. This is also another one of my favorite areas of the world to get a good view from. Although you can't see a lot of the village over there, even though I am actually at max render distance. It's just really cool. The view is really cool. It's literally as tall as the clouds. Sometimes it's just fun to build something absolutely massive in scale, which is what this was for me. I'm pretty sure I built this actually about a summer ago. Now quickly, I'm gonna fly over here and show you this village. This is my Spruce village. This is another very simple castle build. The wall is meant to just protect a lot of the Spruce villagers. And yeah, see, look how massive that looks in the distance. Sorry, I got distracted, but like, dang. This wall was just to protect the Spruce villagers, and I like adding lore to my world and personality, so I named it the Pinecrest Village. And this is actually where I've been getting a lot of the villagers for the rest of my world to populate lately. So I do have another massive trading hall over here, although I just decided to start letting them roam free because I don't really need their trades as much anymore. Although I do have a few pieces of gear that I still haven't maxed out. Like, I want to get another trident for the alternate set of enchantments. And last but not least, this is one of these builds far away from my base, or not super far away, but you know, you can't really see it from everywhere else. This I built right after playing God of War Ragnarok, because I was just in the mood to build something mythology themed, and I prefer Greek mythology. So I built my own little version of Mount Olympus, and I got this big quartz coliseum, and inside I have another nether crying obsidian themed throne. But with my last firework, we are gonna make my way back to the center of the world, because that is basically it. I'm not going to show you the nether because there's really nothing worth showing in there, but this is my long-term Minecraft survival world. But that is basically it for the tour of my long-term Minecraft survival world. I am a casual Minecraft player, and I think I am more like most of you than most of the other Minecraft YouTubers out there. So hopefully some of this has either inspired you or helped you to succeed in having a long-term Minecraft world of your own. Remember, this is supposed to be fun. Building a bunch of different things and giant things shouldn't feel like a task to you. This shouldn't feel like work. This should be something that you enjoy doing, and you don't have to do it back to back or non-stop. It shouldn't feel like a chore. Do it when you want, play when you want, but play on the same world and you will have a bigger and better world each year. Minecraft is generally just one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game of all time. And I've been playing since I was basically like 7, and this world is really a testament to that. Although it's only been going on for about 5 years, this is how my Minecraft experience has developed over time. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this world. Let me know if you have any ideas for builds I can make or districts I want to make, or let me know if you want to see me do Let's Play content, because I was thinking about doing a bit of a walkthrough series on how I play when I play to help you guys kind of go through your own long-term Minecraft world survival experiences so you don't get bored, to show you kind of my thought process when playing. And it would be on this world, although it wouldn't be a fresh start. You guys wouldn't see it from the very start all the way through to the end. I thought it's kind of counterintuitive to start a Let's Play series on a new world for a forever world. Let me know if you guys would want to see that in the future, because I would be very open to doing that. But yeah, has this been helpful for you at all? Do you like my world? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's good? I'm kind of curious to hear what you guys say down in the comments below. Although, like I've said before, and kind of an overarching theme of this, do not let other people judge or make the conclusion for you, for your world. No matter what anybody says in the comments, I like this world for what it is. I enjoy this world. It is honestly like basically my happy place. This is where I come to relax. But with that, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you did enjoy, a like would be greatly appreciated. It helps me out more than you could possibly know and helps other people see this video. And if you really enjoyed the video, subscribe so you never miss out on another video just like this one. It also would help me reach my goal of 20,000 subscribers. So that would be very helpful. So thank you. One last thing, any feedback on this video would be greatly appreciated. I haven't done a style of video like this in a long time, where I kind of just record and start talking. Usually I have a full-blown script I'll read off of that I make in advance, so this is definitely something that's a bit newer to me. So let me know how I did and what I could improve upon when it comes to commentating my gameplay and my experience, because it's definitely something I want to improve and continue to do further, as I definitely would like to do some Let's Play videos of this world in the future. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.